Welcome to the tutorial of multiplication and division of fraction. So let's start. First, we have 3 over 7 is multiplied by 4. So we can turn this 4 into a fraction. Then both of them will be fractions. So 4 is 4 over 1. Then the denominators multiply to the denominators, and the denominators multiply to the denominators. Okay. So we have 3 times 4 is 12. So we have 12 over 7. Okay. Number 2. So now 4 times 2. So 2 is a whole number. The fraction of it is always over 1. So it is 2 over 1. Which means we can directly do this. So 9 times 2 divided by 4. So there can also be a 4 times 1 here because the denominator of 2 is 1. But times 1 does nothing, so it can be omitted. Then 9 times 2 is 18. So 18 over 4. Both of them has a factor of 2. So 18 divided by 2 is 9. 4 divided by 2 is 2. And this is the answer. Number 3. We can also start to simplify at this step. So we have 3 over 10 times 5. So both 10 and 5 has a factor of 5. So 10 divided by 5 is 2. 5 divided by 5 is 1. So we have 3 over 2 times 1, which is 3 over 2. So why can we do this? Let's say if we don't do it like this, let's say we do it like normally, like in previous methods. So this will be 3 times 5 over 10 times 1. So which will be 15 over 10. And both of them has a factor of 5. So 15 divided by 5 is 3. 10 divided by 5 is 2. And we arrive to the same answer, 3 over 2. It's because we're eventually simplifying this fraction by a factor of 5 anyway. So it's like do it first or do it later. If we do it first, then we can like avoid big numbers. So, okay. Number 4. 2 over 5 is divided by 2. So whenever we see a division symbol, we always turn to something else. So is equal to 2 over 5 multiplied by the inverse of it. The inverse of 2 is 1 over 2 because 2 is a 2 over 1. And denominators multiply together, denominators multiply together, 2 over 10. Then we have 1 over 5. Okay. And number 5. So 4 is divided by 2 over 3. So it's equal to multiplying the inverse of the fraction, which will be 3 over 2. Now the denominator and the denominator are reversed. This will be 4 times 3 is divided by 2. Then we have 12 is divided by 2. So we have 6, this is division. So 12 divided by 2 is 6. And 7 multiplied to the inverse of this. Okay. Again, we can start simplifying at this step. So both 7 and 14 has a factor of 7. So 7 divided by 7 is 1. 14 divided by 7 is 2. And we have 1 times 3 over 2. So this will be a 3 over 2. Okay. Number 7. 3 over 2 is multiplied by 4 over 7. So both of them are fraction already. So numerator multiply together, denominators multiply together. 3 times 4 is 12. 2 times 7 is 14. So both of them has a factor of 2. So 6 over 7. Okay. Number 8. This is similarly, we can actually this is the original method. So let's do it like this one first. So 9 times 5 is 45. 10 times 3 is 30. So both of them has a factor of 15. 15 is the HCF. Okay. So 14 divided by 15 is 3. 30 divided by 15 is 2. So we have 3 over 2. We can also start simplifying at the first step. So like this. So 9 over 10 times 3 over 5 over 3. So 9 and 3 has a common factor of 3. So 9 divided by 3 is 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. For these two, 10 and 5 both have a factor of 5. So 10 divided by 5 is 2. 5 divided by 5 is 1. Then we have 3 over 2 times 1 over 1, which is a 3 over 2. And we arrive at the same answer. Okay. So we did simplify this using 3 and 5, right? And 3 times 5 is 15, which is the factor we use here. So if we do this, we are doing the same thing. We just simplify first or simply simplifying them later. But if we simplify them first, then we can avoid having big numbers. So, and then number 9. So this is 4 plus 3 times 5 plus 16. So 3 and 5 are no common factor. 4 and 16, yes. So these two can be both divided by 4. So 4 divided by 4 is 1. 16 divided by 4 is 4. Okay. So we have 1 over 3 times 5 over 4. And denominators multiply together, denominators multiply together. 5 over 12 is the answer. Okay. And next. So number 10. We have a big fraction. So this is a longer fraction line. This is a shorter fraction line. So we deal with the longer fraction line first. Okay. So in the primary fraction, 4 is the denominator and 2 over 3 is the denominator. Okay. So we have 4 is divided by 2 over 3. Because fraction line is basically a division. And you do the inverse of this. Turn it from division to multiplication. We do the inverse of the function of the fraction. So we have then 4, 2 we can simplify already. So this is 2 times 3 over 1 plus 4 divided by 2 is 2, 2 divided by 2 is 1. So we have 2 times 3. So we have 6 over 1, which is a 6. Okay. Or we can do it like 4 times 3 is 12. 12 over 2 is 6. Same results. Okay. Number 11. So this is the longer fraction line. This is the primary fraction. In this primary fraction, 5 over 2 is the denominator and 6 is the denominator. Okay. So we have 5 over 2 is divided by 6, which means 5 over 2 is multiplied by 1 over 6. The inverse of 6 is 1 over 6. Because 6 as a fraction is 6 over 1. Okay. Denominators together, denominators together. So 5 over 12. Okay. Then number 12. 5 over 2 is divided by 2 over 3. Is what this fraction means. This longer fraction line, so this is the primary fraction. And we do not move the secondary fraction, which is the 5 over 2 and 2 over 3. They're like the secondary fraction here. So this equals to 5 over 2 is divided by 2 over 3. Okay. And then we turn the division symbol into multiplication and turn it into the inverse of it. So 5 over 2 is multiplied by 3 over 2. Okay. Then denominators together, denominators together. So we have 15 is divided by 4. Okay. Number 13, we have 3 numbers multiplied together. So we turn them all into fraction. So the first number is negative. We have one negative number, one positive number, and then 2 positive numbers. So we have 2 positive numbers multiplied together. So the order of multiplication doesn't matter. So we multiply these 2 numbers first, which will be positive numbers multiplied by positive numbers. The answer should be positive numbers. Then that positive numbers multiplied by the negative numbers, the answer should be negative numbers. Okay. So we have negative, and then 3 over 5 times, let's turn this into a fraction, so 2 over 1. Then this is already a fraction. Okay. So then, again, same rules applied. Denominators together, denominators together. And negative. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 times 10 is 60. So 60 over 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 4 is 20. Alright. Then they have a common factor of 20. Or this is a division. 60 divided by 20 is 3. So this is negative 3. Okay. Then second one. So whenever we see a division symbol, we always turn into something else. So negative 1 over 2 multiplied by 7 over 4 multiplied by the inverse of 3. Okay. So the answer should be negative, because we have one negative number and then the rest is positive numbers. So negative 1 times 7 times 1 2 times 4 times 3. Okay. And on the denominator, we have a 7. Because 1 times anything is still the 7. And 2 times 4 is 8. 8 times 3 is 24. Okay. So we have 7 for 24, negative. The third one. So we see division symbol here, we do something about it. So 7/2 is multiplied by the inverse of this. So this is negative 4/2. The inverse of this is negative 2/4. And then multiplied by negative 9/4. Okay. So the order of multiplication doesn't matter. And if we multiply these two numbers first, with negative numbers multiplied to negative numbers, we'll get positive numbers. And that positive numbers multiplied to these positive numbers will still be positive. So the answer should be positive. So we still do like positive bracket, but we don't have to be positive. That's nothing. So we have 7 times 2 times 9. Okay, let's do this anyway. And then 2 times 4 times 4. Okay. So we have so we can also simplify already. Both of the numerator and denominator has a factor of 2. So we can like, okay, 2 divided by 2 is 1. 2 divided by 2 is 1. Okay. So in the denominator, we have 7 times 9, which is 63. And in the denominator, we have 4 times 4, which is a 16. So do they have any common factors? No, there's 7 and 9. And 4, no. 2, no. Of course. 5, no. No. So this is the answer. And then number 16. Okay. Number 16 with a big fraction here. So n times 6. So the fraction is division, and division will be eventually turn into multiplication. And then the order of doing multiplication doesn't matter. However, it is a good practice to like solve the big fraction first. Okay. So we have this is the main fraction line. We have negative 4 over negative 3 is divided by negative 2 over 3. And then this whole thing times 6. Okay. So negative 4 over negative 3 is 4 over 3. Because when both the numerator and denominator are negative, the fraction is positive. And multiplied by the inverse of this. So this whole number is negative because one of the numerator or denominator is negative. And the inverse of this is 3 over 2 and times 6. Okay. One of them is negative, so the answer should be negative. And it's equals to negative. Denominator is 4 times 3 times 6. 6 is the denominator. And 3 times 2 times 1. Okay. So we can simplify already. This is 4 and 2. Both of them can be divisible by 2. So 4 divided by 2 is 2, while 2 divided by 2 is 1. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 3 divided by 3 is 1. Okay. So we have negative 2 times 6 is 12 over 1. So this is negative 12. Okay. Let's say if we don't do this, so we have 12 times 6, which will be 72. And over 3 times 2 is 6. We still get 12. 72 over 6 is 12. Okay. And number 17. Okay. Number 17 is equals to 5 over negative 9. So we have two big fractions. The primary fraction 9, they're the same length. For the first big fraction is 5 over negative 9. So I changed the divide into multiplication and multiply the inverse of this. Yes, if you look at if you do it like this only, this is divided by 3 over 2, which is multiplying by 2 over 3. Okay. And then divide by, so divide by is multiplying the inverse of the fraction. And the main fraction here is this. The 6 over 10 is the denominator, and the negative 2 over 8 is the denominator. Okay. So we inverse the main, the primary fraction, which will be negative 2 over 8 and 6 over 10. Okay. Then for the first big fraction, we have 5 times 2 and negative 9 times 3. Okay. And for this one, we are multiplying negative 2 over 8 times the inverse of the bottom secondary fraction. So 10 over 6. Okay, so we do this fraction only. Then this is negative 2 over 8 divided by 6 over 10. Divided by 6 over 10 is equivalent to multiplying the inverse of 6 over 10, which is 10 over 6. Okay. So then we have 10 over negative 27 times, so this one we can simplify it. So 2 and 6 both have a factor of 2. So negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 8 and 10 both have a factor of 2. So 8 divided by 2 is 4. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Okay. So we have a negative number here. And 1 times 5 is 5. 4 times 3 is 12. Okay. Then this is a negative fraction. This is also a negative fraction. So in the end, we have a positive answer. And 10 times 5 over 27 times 12. So both 10 and 12 has a factor of 2. So 10 divided by 2 is 5. 12 divided by 2 is 6. Okay. So we have 25 over 27 times 6. So okay, 162. Yeah. Okay. So both of these don't have any common factors, so this is the answer. Okay. All right. So this is for the multiplication and division of fraction.